Hello, this question came from section 11.2 in the book, which is looking at matched pairs for two population means, doing hypothesis testing, and looking at confidence intervals. This is problem number 2 from the homework. So this problem does not give you context at all. It's just figuring out how to do the process for matched pairs of data, and we are given 8 observations for each of the pairs. So I'm going to show you how to do this in StatCrunch. So let's start out by opening the data in StatCrunch and figuring out the differences. So to figure out the differences, we can make a column that's differences by doing data and then doing compute expression. We're going to build the expression, and it's x1 sub I minus y sub I, and then we'll hit OK and compute, and it'll make a new column that's the differences. So that's the differences, and if you need to calculate the mean and the standard deviation of the differences, we go ahead and do that by doing summary statistics on that specific column. So we'll do the mean and the standard deviation of the differences. So the mean of the differences is negative 2.3875, and the standard deviation of the differences is 2.23. All right, so that's one piece. The next piece is to do a hypothesis test. And I think they tell us exactly, we're testing to see if the differences are less than 0. So with these hypothesis tests, this is a paired t-test. So we're going to do stat and then t-stats, and then we're doing paired. So our differences, since they were x sub I minus y sub I, our first sample is x sub I and our second sample is y sub I. You got to do them in the right order. And then we are doing a hypothesis test, and we're actually told in the problem we're looking to see if the difference is, the null is always that it's going to equal 0, and then our options are for the differences either not equal 0, less than 0, greater than, so less than 0 for this problem. And we just go ahead and hit compute, and that gives us the p-value for this specific test. We can also do a confidence interval instead. So at the 95% confidence level, we can do a confidence interval. And also, I do want to point out that you can also have it give you summary statistics and a box plot within this t-test as well. But we don't need that for this problem, so we'll just hit compute, and we're given our confidence interval. So again, it tells us a mean and a standard deviation. So negative 2.388 is also found there. And this is not the same notice that this is a different number than our standard deviation that we found that I can't show right now. So our standard deviation of the differences is 2.233. And if you look at our output from my stat lab, it's a standard error is 0.789. So you have to pay attention. Standard error is different than standard deviation. You can calculate the standard deviation from the standard error by multiplying by the square root of n, and you should get that same number. All right, so that's the lower limit and the upper limit of the confidence interval, and I hope this helps.